What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we have access to the early courtside report, which is the gameplay blog for NBA 2K21, PS5 and Xbox Series X. The Xbox naming is just ridiculous. Like, the amount of people, what was it, the Xbox One X orders went up like 300% or something the launch day of the Series X, or the launch day pre-order for Series X, because everyone was buying the One X by mistake. So we are going to, let's zoom in a little bit on this. There we go. So we're going to have a look at this. A huge shout out to 2K for letting me view this early. It's going to be really great. So, team of visual concepts from Porn Collective Arts bringing you premier sports gaming experience. And we've seen from the graphics last week, like, they're ridiculous. I think there's something off with the lighting, but I hope that that's just just from the trailer. But it does, like, I mean, the face models are the best they've ever been. Like, they're blurring the lines between video game and reality. Will be a largest game yet and biggest leap forward in the franchise. I mean, 14 to 14 was a massive leap forward. Okay, Pro Stick Shooting's a thing. Pro Stick Shooting is still a thing. It's been adopted by both pro and casual gamers alike on current gen. No, it hasn't. It was initially. It was initially. Then you nerfed it about 15 times. You nerfed it, you buffed it, then nerfed it, then buffed it, then nerfed it again. It's useless right now. Unless you're using, like, Bill Lambier. Okay, shot arc control. Shot aiming is going to change to introduce being able to bow time and aim your shots a fresh new skill to master. It helps with skill gap shooting. No, it hasn't. No one uses it anymore because you broke it. Aiming works by pulling your stick down, start a jump shot. Speed of your stick movement dictates whether the ideal aim point skews left or right on shot meter. They need to take out that factor because that adds aimbot. They should literally make it so that depending on where you are on the court is where the meter is going to be. So if you're slightly in the left, if you're, say, on the left wing, you have to pull it down more to the left. That stops the modded controllers. Literally, it means the modded controllers work from one direct spot on the court, and that's it. That is literally how you fix modded controllers, and it looks like there's going to be a modded controller problem again. For next gen, the stick now controls the arc of your jump shot. Slow flicks will give you extra high arcs, while fast flicks will make your shot flat. It feels really good to have the extra bit of control on how you shoot. I mean, what relevance is a flat arc and high arc? Because, like, we've got Ray Allen release who shoots flat anyway, and Ray Allen, Rex Chapman, there were certain uppers that shot a flat release anyway. And then these cards that had high arcs, if a card had a high arc and they shot a flat release, you knew it was automatically going to be a bank shot, the arrow 3. So it's a bit of a weird one. It'll be a lot of fun to practice chucking up rainbow threes. You'll get a small bonus for shooting with the ideal shot arc. But wait, what? This doesn't make sense. So bringing the stick down fast or slow changes both where to aim it and also changes the arc. What? This doesn't really make... Obviously, it will make more sense for the game. I'm confident that the actual visual concept team makes something good, but do you have to flick up on the stick now instead of pressing L2? Okay, that might be a thing. Bank shot control. Fast flicks or slightly aiming in the direction of the backboard will also allow you to control bank shots. If you want to emulate Dwayne Wade or Tim Duncan, it's now easier to do that. Works for layups too. Maybe a tiny detail. I mean, surely this isn't good. Works for layups too. I hope he means, like, post hooks and stuff. Because you better believe if I'm running in a fast break layup and my player does not use the backboard and tries to lay it in over the rim and misses, I'm going to snap. I love being able to control whether I drop a layup directly in the hoop versus off the window. It's cool control. Hasn't been the basketball game before. It is a cool control, but, like, come on. That has a major potential to be that is major disaster potential right there. Shot meter is an important tool for current gen, and it gets a new look and plays a bigger role in your makes or misses. That makes it sound like no meter is not going to be a thing. Not going to be a thing. New presentation is more readable, really pops on various courts. Thank you. The bigger shot meter. That is what we've all been asking for. And you know what? Maybe when Mike Wang said it'll be the bigger shot meter will be there in the full game, maybe he meant this version of the game. The bigger shot meter is a massive thing that we've been asking for since the demo. I'm so happy. It's looking like we're getting a bigger shot meter. Like, you don't understand how big of a deal that is. No longer scales in world space, meaning it won't be really small if you're in a really far camera view. I mean, even if you went and zoomed in the whole way, it was still tiny. It was still tiny. I tried it. I tried to play on the RJ Watts camera. It didn't work. It did not work. The meter is still horrendous. Again, I only use the meter because I really like it for layups and stuff. I think the meter makes you make crazy layups, and it's not that much worse shooting with meter and without meter. But like, the meter was awful. So much easier to see the sweet spot as well. Thank you. The shot meter's window is now blue and will grow and shrink dynamically based on how good the shooter is. So basically, it's just the exact same, except it's not like yellow. Again, I'm colorblind. This could be. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. Being colorblind, it's hard to tell. It was fine as it was, but it was hard to tell. I hope that you can change the color of the window, because there were certain colors that I was really, really bad with. Like there was, if someone had a red and black window or shot meter, I couldn't use it last year. Like there was a load of like certain shot meters in 2K20. Like I had to use magenta, blue, or white, or black. One of those four. I couldn't use any of the other four because I'm colorblind. It was really, really difficult to see, and I hope that making it blue is not that problem. It's, again, it's a nitpick. It affects about 1% of people, but like, it is what it is. Okay. For next gen, if you miss the window completely, it means you'll miss a shot. Thank you. Thank you. You should not miss the window and make a shot. Thank you. I'm fine with slightly's going in. I'm fine with people that hit the window. I'm fine with people that hit the window and not a perfect release it going in. But thank you for not letting people hit shots when they miss the window. But at the same time, if you're on rookie, the window better be huge. The window better be huge for like the 9-year-olds playing the game. Like, you better believe playing on rookie difficulty and dropping 100 points a game with a certain player is very fun to do when you're 9 years old. So, you better make it on the lower difficulties, the window gigantic. The window, the entire meter, basically. The black notch in the middle is blue and black. Please be really light blue. The black notch in the middle is the green window. Please be really light blue, because if that's any way dark blue, I'm not going to see the black notch in the middle. That's really weird. In the custom controllers, you get to see which visual effect plays. Randomize between different options. Turn it off if you like a clean screen. Okay, so you can turn off the meter. I don't get what that means. I'm guessing that's like green lights or something. But like above, they said the meter was really important for making shots. I don't really, it's kind of contradicted itself, but I'm guessing it makes more sense when you have the game. The change we made here make it easier for us to help players understand the difference between a good and a poor shot, and allow us to retune shooting to accommodate a wide variation of skill levels. I mean, the easiest, you don't need to retune shooting. Like, they didn't need to reinvent the wheel. All they had to do was put Unlimited on Superstar for the whole year. Put Pro-Am on Hall of Fame. Put Park on All-Star. Put TTO on All-Star. And take out the straight arm. That's literally all they had to do to fix shooting from 2K20. They didn't need to reinvent the wheel, but they had tried to reinvent the wheel. And I'm worried. I'm worried that they're trying to change too much. But at the same time, one of the good things is about changing the shooting completely is that it's either going to be great or terrible. There's not going to be a middle ground. So there is equally as much potential that this is brilliant as it is awful. But it's going to be, this game, just like 2K21 last gen, is going to be one or the other. It's going to be either brilliant or awful. Layup timing is something that players have struggled to master. Every layup is a different release point. Oh no. Oh no. As a result, layup time is reduced to have very nominal effect in current gen to prevent people from getting frustrated. For next gen, we've decided to disable layup timing in the button by default, so most players can just focus on taking it to the rim with the right players at the right time. But for elite guards who try to finish like Steph or Kyrie, bigs who want to show up their Jokic like touching the blocks, we've redesigned layup timing and aiming meters to be completely under the control of the players. That means if you enable timing for layups and have the stick skills to master, you'll have a huge advantage. Okay, that's really good. So basically, if you want to time your layups, you're gonna do better things. But if you don't want to time your layups, you're still gonna be fine. Okay, that's good. That is a skill gap. That is a legitimate skill gap that does not ruin the game. Unless it turns out that the non-timed layups are either terrible or the exact same as the timed layups. This could be good. If this is implemented correctly, this is a skill gap. This is a skill gap, which is a good thing. Advantage comes to the risk you miss the make window. It's possible to blow easy bunnies if you lose focus. Great solution for everybody. Okay, I agree. I think this could be a great solution. Layups themselves also receive several important changes. Engineers spend a lot of time improving layup selection and detect defensive threats and smartly choose the most open spot to lay up when standing under the hoop. I mean, I do hope it's not like the constant missed layups under the rim. Okay, yeah, like the layups, you know what? I can't complain too much. It seems like it's okay. Shot creators, you completely revamped off dribble and new signature packages to key players like LeBron James and Luka. New jump shot packages are as beautiful and they are effective, great weapons for shot creators. I mean, they really put LeBron James in the shot creator category and not like a Harden. Contested pull-ups and set your feet better and are more control pull-ups, set your feet better and more balanced. While high momentum pull-ups create more separation but are tougher to knock down. Okay. That makes a lot of sense, and I can't disagree with it. I can't disagree with any of that. There are some great nuances. 3-point line recognition. They added conditional power allowed to engineers to upgrade inverse kinematics and foot planting technology. Okay, 3-point line recognition. In the past, you either slide back for a 3-point shot, which looked pretty bad, or step in the line for a long two. They better stop in for the long twos. Okay, thank you. Players don't warp behind the 3-point line anymore, or step inside the 2-point line. That means Paul Pierce might be a god. It means LeBron might be usable. It means LeBron might be usable if he's not corner sitting. That's unreal. Ball handling, front, dribbling. I'm guessing it's just improved. Yeah, it just says it's improved. Okay. Size up, speed, control. Okay. Great ball handlers don't have one gear. Okay, that's interesting. That is really interesting. So, again, it is something that could be like a skill gap. Like, I'm just kind of looking for like what could make the game good, and it could make it a skill gap. It's cool to be able to slowly rock back your stick and forward for slow rhythm size, but then change pace. This might make small guards usable. This might make small guards usable, lads. I know. It's like it's just giving probably you guys false hope. Small guards are probably never going to be usable, but I don't know. Maybe every year they make something that sounds like small guards be usable. Sauce. There's a whole new signature dribbles. LeBron gets the suspended dribble that works oddly well in real life. Harden gets quicker between a leg sequence than others. I don't think it's going to be that relevant in... Okay, parked dribble moves now pulled off with clicking L3. Why? Why did you make them clicking L3? Because triple threat is on park sliders. They've got everything to do with park. L3 is the screen direction. It already is a button. Why not make it R3? R3 doesn't do anything. R3 doesn't do anything. L3 already does something. It already does something. So like, why? Why did you put it on a button that already does something? Put it on R3. The R3 button does not do anything in game. Why did, or at least change the screen directions to R3? That is my biggest pet hate in this game. Is that it ruined TTO. Because now if you want to call for a screen, you either have to go the wrong way off the screen, or your player starts dribbling around the floor, or spinning along the floor, and pulling off sham gods like they're the professor in the early 2000s. Why is it not R3? R3 doesn't do anything. L3 does. L3 now does two things at once. So if you press L3 in a TTO game while calling for a screen, it both changes the direction of the screen and causes you to spin around the floor like you're an N1 player. That is BS. That is the biggest BS thing in this game. It shows that they couldn't even care less about my team because they don't even realize that L3 already does something. The devs do not know that the button that they put park handles on does something else. Like, click in R3, not L3, R3. And that's fine because R3 doesn't do anything. But no, the devs don't even know their own game well enough that they make one button do two things at the same time. Rant over. Park handles are just a joke. They don't do anything. All they do is just put you into bad position. It's like in like the old NBA 2K games. You ever play like NBA 2K1 or 2 where you press square, you do a random skill move? That's literally it. You press L3 and do a random park dribble move. Triple threat. No one's going to use it. No one's going to use it. Unless you're in the post, no one's going to use it. I'm not. Yeah, people can like jab and stuff, but Like, is anyone going to use it? I don't think so. Okay, so passing received great improvements. For starters, a physics guru rewrote ball physics to improve bounce passes. The bounce location looks more accurate to real life and can reflect spin, floor friction. Is it relevant to gameplay? No. It might be. I don't know. It might make him either overpowered or underpowered, but it's hard to tell from this. The bounce alley-oops. I mean, I can see that being a disaster, which is not a good sign. The more, like, it's weird, like, the more complicated the game is, the more potential it has to be a disaster. All I hope is the players aren't all Tom Brady and can't all throw full court touchdown passes with perfect speed, perfect accuracy, and perfect height so that it goes over your defender and into someone's hand 94 feet. I just hope that that's not the case this year. Okay. Tapping triangle will lead a teammate to the hoop. What? So, tapping triangle is either going to make them cut to the hoop or make them go to the 3-point line, depending on where you are. That's more confusing than when it currently was. Like, holding triangle worked fine. Holding the league pass button works like a regular pass right now, allowing target further away. Like, there was nothing wrong with cut lead passes to the basket. There's nothing wrong with the backdoor cuts holding triangle. But now pressing triangle, there'll be times where you want the backdoor cut and they'll go to 3-point line. There'll be times you want them to spot up and they'll go to backdoor cut. Again, the button does two opposite things. The button both makes you cut or go to 3-point line depending on where you are. And current movement, if one of your AI is in a weird position, and you want to bring them out, they might just sprint to the basket. Okay. Pass accuracy now transitions. That's about it. That's about it. Okay, I hope that we find out a little bit more, but there's a few things. Like, this could be a disaster. Like the the triangle situation that they either cut to the basket or go to 3-point line. Like, that's literally two opposites. That's like saying if you press the X button, you will either pass it or shoot it. Like, it's literally two opposite. It does two opposite things. This again shows that 2K do not play their game, because they did not even realize that L3 button already does something. And other than that, though, the pro stick with Arc, it's gonna be give it 2 weeks until they nerf it completely. So honestly, we can read any sort of next gen report. We can read any sort of courtside report. But the whole thing is how will the game play after 2 weeks? Because the games, normally we like the games to start. Normally we like the games to start and then they touch one thing and it ends up them breaking 3 more things. It's always a bit of a weird situation, but I'm optimistic. I was optimistic before I read this, even though there are some stuff I'm worried about here. I'm optimistic after reading this. At the end of the day, I really don't care what it says in these dev blogs, because these dev blogs are 2K just trying to sell their game. Some of the things that they say in it are a little bit worrying, and like some of the points, if you guys looked back at my very first one when I was talking about the dev blogs for myteam and the dev blog for just the game, I mentioned modded controllers in August when this all came out. I mentioned the fact that limited, the big problem with limited was that it became luck based whether you got the ring. So like I was able to point out the big problems early in these games, and I think there are definitely some flaws, but at the end of the day, these are nitpicks. The game looks great, and we'll see on November the 10th if it's... Actually, no. We'll see November the 18th after the first 2 patches how the game actually is going to play. Hopefully it's good. Like, a lot of people are like with me, oh, I'm just looking for things to be negative on. I'm like, no, I'm not. If this game is good, I really want this game to be good. I really want this game to be good because I have to play it all year. I would rather play a good game than a bad game. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.